happy day. It's a glorious day for us to play. And 2 minutes ago, that's not what I would have said. But now I'm here instead. What is going on? All right, so I have been going since like 6 this morning. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to crash out for a little bit and chill till my next meeting. Well, actually, till I work out. But I jumped in my email and I saw that I was featured in the Show Your Spark blog post, which is super cool because I am an ambassador for Lindsay Height and her business Show Your Sparks campaign, Fierce After 40. But here's the thing that really interests me. As I read the blog from my own words, I was inspired to jump on here and share with you guys that spontaneity is living fiercely. And what do I mean by that? I think we often limit ourselves, guys, because what we're called to do, what we feel good about, won't we don't express it, right? If it's to jump on live and sing randomly to people, if it's to take a nap, if it's to tell somebody that comfort kills people, and if they don't get out of their own way, they could really end up struggling. Whether it's creating a song because you're inspired to, we limit ourselves. We filter ourselves. We're like, oh no, I'm at work, or oh, my kids might think I'm being funny, or oh, whatever the story is. We all have these stories that keep us from leaning into spontaneity. But guys, that's where the creation meets co-creator, which is us, because we're always co-creating our experience with creation. I mean, that is a gift of our experience, is we get to create our reality in any given moment. But oftentimes what we experience is muddled by the past, muddled by what people think about us, or our perception of what people will think about us. Our experience in this moment is muddled by the stories that we tell ourselves. And in those stories, we prevent ourselves from just opening to the experience that's unfolding. Who I am today is not who I was yesterday. And the minute I bring in this idea of who I'm meant to be from yesterday, I limit myself. I'm not able to step into the full expression of who I am in this moment, guys, which is divine. It's perfection. It's love. It's just unbelievable. And so what I would encourage you to really consider is, where do you limit yourself? And if you limit yourself in all areas of your life, what's one area that you are willing to examine and stop um boxing yourself in? Stop preventing yourself from doing the thing that your heart feels so called to do, even if it doesn't make sense for anybody else. And guys, the reality is in your own unique individualness, whatever, that is the gift you give to the world. That is what the world needs. And you giving yourself permission to be you, you inherently hold space and give other people permission to be them. Can you give yourself permission to be you? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Where do you hold yourself back? In what areas of your life? A few years ago, I decided that I was going to do my first ever Show You Spark session. And I promised myself that I was going to show up and I was just going to go with the flow and allow things to unfold the way that they We're meant to. Fast forward so many years later, I am now a fierce advocate for everybody to show up and allow themselves to be seen through visuals, through the lens, through film, through pictures, because it allows us to have a representation of ourselves that we don't otherwise see because we box ourselves in. And so I am super honored to not only be featured for the blog on Show Your Spark and for um for being an ambassador of the Fierce Over 40 campaign of 2025. But I'm also excited in that I hope that it inspires other people to step out of what they think they need to be, how they think they need to experience life, and try something new. Show up fully expressed, show up for yourself. Um, in doing that, it's not always pretty, it's not always messy, right? We judge the experience. And yet, in showing up and doing something that feels uncomfortable or, dare I say, risque, we teach ourselves that we don't need to live in a box, that we can, in fact, experience each moment without this story that suggests we need to be something, that we need to perform or do or achieve. What if just being you is enough? You will never know that if you aren't willing to consider different perspectives, but moreover, try new things and learn yourself. Because so often people go to their grave comfortable, because they feel that they have been uh, set up with a set of beliefs, a set of ideologies, a set of habits, and that's how they need to show up in the world. Well, you can do anything, you're limitless. You have the ability to create an unbelievable experience for yourself if you give yourself permission to step outside the confines of how you think you need to be. And doing that, you try new things, you do new things, you show up bravely. And so today I'm honored to be showcased in the Fierce After 40 blog. But even more than that, guys, what I would really encourage you to do is ask yourself where you want to show up for yourself, where you're not allowing yourself to be seen, where you're not allowing yourself to learn yourself, where you're boxing yourself into conformity or habits or behaviors that you may have outgrown. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it doesn't feel good, you've outgrown it. If you do not feel inspired, if it does not bring life to you, if you are not sitting in joy, then you have outgrown that experience. And can you step into discomfort so that you can experience something new, so you can breathe new life into yourself, right? I think about my experience when I struggle with depression, right? Years ago, I spent months in a depressive state. The minute I gave myself permission to do something differently, which is as simple as brush my teeth, guys, it invigorated me. I was energized and I was able to, even if only brush my teeth, see beyond the narrow box I had found myself in from overthinking, and believe in new possibilities for myself. And in that small window of trying something new, giving myself permission to have a different experience, my life started to unfold in ways that gave me more opportunities to believe in myself, to try new things, to challenge what I think I knew about myself and remain curious. I have spent a lifetime learning myself, and I can honestly tell you from that journey, I don't know anything about myself other than that I'm love. Anything. I don't know how I'm going to show up in the next hour. I don't know how I'm going to show up in the next day. But what I can say is I am passionate about showing up as love. And in that passion, my trust is that in being love for myself and all others, I inspire other people to show up as love for themselves. And guys, part of love is laughter. So the ride is a joyful one. It should be. I mean, shit, there's a lot of ick stick that we have to navigate every day. Why not laugh about it? So today and all days, I encourage you, if it feels really hard, it's okay. It gets to be hard, but doesn't mean that hard stops you from stepping into discomfort. And if it feels unfulfilling, can you challenge yourself and try something new? Have the tough conversation, leave the job that you dislike, or most importantly, the job and the relationships and all that are trivial. Leave the beliefs that no longer serve you. The belief that you're not good enough, the belief that you're not worthy, the belief that you need more education, the belief that because I'm a woman, I'm not granted the same opportunities or the pay, the belief that I need to raise my kids a certain way, right? When you give yourself permission to step aside and allow yourself to do what comes from spirit, which is inspired, which means there's no belief, you just take action, you're limitless. And in being limitless, you experience a wild and unexpected journey of continued self discovery because the more you learn, the more you recognize we don't know nothing. All I know is that I'm here to love. And I hope that you experience that understanding for yourself one day.